The sun burned hot over the cracked desert of Earth in 2247. Dust swirled around the broken ruins of old cities, and people hid in small, strong camps to stay safe. Haye Jin, a 28-year-old scavenger, walked carefully through the sand. Her dark hair was tied back and her sharp eyes scanned for anything useful, old tech, food, or tools. She was tough, known for never giving up, but she carried a secret. Since she was a child, strange energy moved inside her, like a storm she couldn't control. It scared her, so she kept it hidden. Haye Jin led a small team from her camp, a place of metal walls and hopeful people. Her friends, Jiho and Su-min, trusted her to find supplies. They needed batteries for their water purifier, or the camp would go thirsty. The desert was dangerous, with raiders, mean people who stole from others, hiding behind dunes. Haye Jin's team moved quietly, their boots crunching on dry ground. She felt the energy inside her twitch, like it knew something was wrong. They reached an old fallen building half buried in sand. Jiho pointed to a rusty box inside. "That might have batteries," he whispered. Haye Jin nodded and climbed through a broken window. Her hands shook as she pried open the box. The energy in her chest buzzed louder, making her heart race. She found 3 batteries, small but good. "Got them," she called softly. As they left the building, a shout broke the silence. Raiders. 5 of them ran from behind a dune, their faces covered with dirty cloth. They held sharp knives and old guns. Jiho dropped his bag, pulling out a metal pipe to fight. Su-min screamed, grabbing a rock. Haye Jin froze, her secret energy burning inside like fire. The raiders laughed, closing in. "Give us everything," the leader yelled, pointing a gun at Haye Jin. Her fear turned to anger. She didn't want her friends hurt. The energy exploded inside her and she couldn't hold it back. A bright blue light shot from her hands like lightning. It hit the leader, knocking him to the ground. The other raiders gasped, stepping back. Haye Jin's body shook, and she felt weak, but the light kept glowing. Jiho stared, his pipe still raised. "Haye Jin, what was that?" Su-min's eyes were wide, her rock forgotten. The raiders ran, leaving their leader behind. Haye Jin fell to her knees, the blue light fading. Her secret was out. She looked at her friends, afraid they'd hate her. I don't know," she lied, her voice small. They hurried back to camp, carrying the batteries. Jiho and Su-min didn't talk much, but their glances said enough. They were scared and curious. Haye Jin felt sick. She'd always hidden her power, afraid of being called a freak. Now her friends knew. Would they tell everyone? The camp was small, and secrets didn't last. That night, Haye Jin sat by a fire, alone. The camp's lights flickered and the stars above were bright. She touched her hands, remembering the blue light. It felt strong, but dangerous. She didn't understand. Was she broken? Her thoughts were interrupted by a strange hum in the sky. She looked up and saw a silver shape like a smooth bird flying low. It wasn't human. Her heart sank. Aliens. The Galactic Concord, a group of alien races, watched Earth from space. They thought humans were weak, living in ruins while their own cities shone with technology. The silver ship was one of their scouts sent to check on Earth's people. Haye Jin didn't know it, but the ship had seen her blue light. Its machines recorded the energy, and its crew, led by a tall alien named Taesung, was curious. Humans weren't supposed to have power like that. Back at camp, Jiho and Su-min told the elders about Haye Jin's light. Whispers spread fast. Some called her a hero for saving them. Others were afraid, saying she was dangerous. Haye Jin heard the talk and felt trapped. She wanted to run, but where? The desert was cruel, and the aliens were watching. As she lay in her small bed, the energy in her chest hummed again like it was waking up. She didn't know what it meant, but she felt something big was coming. The aliens were closer than she thought, and her life was about to change. Haye Jin woke to darkness and a strange hum. Her bed was gone, replaced by a cold, smooth floor. She sat up, heart pounding. The air felt wrong, too clean. A soft blue light glowed around her, coming from walls that looked like metal but shimmered like water. She wasn't in the desert anymore. Panic hit her. The aliens had taken her. She stood, her legs shaky. Her clothes, dusty pants and a worn shirt, felt out of place in this clean, quiet room. A door slid open with a hiss and a tall figure stepped in. It was an alien with smooth gray skin and large black eyes. He wore a tight silver suit that glowed faintly. "I am Tae-sung," he said in clear, slow English. "You are safe." Hae-jin didn't believe him. She backed against the wall, her chest buzzing with that familiar energy. "Where am I?" she asked, her voice sharp. Tae-sung tilted his head, like he was studying her. "You are on our station, orbiting your planet," he said. "We are the Galactic Conquered. We saw your power. We want to understand it." Hae-jin's stomach twisted. Her blue light, the secret she'd hidden for years, had brought her here. She didn't trust Tae-sung, but she had no choice. She followed him out of the room. The station was huge, with long halls and strange machines. Other aliens, some with scales or feathers, stared at Hae-jin. She felt small, like a bug under a glass. Tae-sung led her to a room filled with glowing screens and buzzing tools. "We will test you," he said, pointing to a metal chair. Hae-jin hesitated. "What kind of tests?" she asked. Tae-sung's eyes softened a little. "To see what you are," he said. "Your power is not normal for humans." She sat in the chair, her hands gripping the arms. Tae-sung placed a band around her head, connected to wires. "Think of your power," he said. Hae-jin closed her eyes, remembering the blue light that saved her from the raiders. The energy in her chest stirred, warm and wild. The band hummed and the screens lit up with bright colors. Tae-sung made a strange sound, like a gasp. "This is impossible," he muttered. The screen showed waves and numbers, proof her power was real. The tests went on for hours. Tae-sung asked her to focus, to push the energy out. Hae-jin tried, but it was hard. The energy felt alive, slipping from her control. Once a spark jumped from her hand, hitting a machine. It sparked and smoked, making Tae-sung jump back. "Careful!" he shouted. Hae-jin felt bad but also strong. She wasn't just a scavenger anymore. Tae-sung explained her power came from a change in her body, something called a genetic mutation. It let her control energy, like electricity or heat. "No human should do this," he said, his voice curious. Hae-jin didn't understand the science, but she saw Tae-sung's excitement. He wasn't like the other aliens who looked at her with cold eyes. Still, she didn't trust him fully. The Conquered wanted something from her, and she didn't like being their experiment. That night, in a small room with a hard bed, Hae-jin couldn't sleep. The station hummed and her energy buzzed in her chest. She thought of her camp, of Ji-ho and Su-min. Did they miss her? Were they safe? She felt alone, trapped in a place she didn't understand. Then, an alarm screamed through the station. Red lights flashed and the floor shook. Hae-jin ran to the door, but it was locked. Through a small window, she saw chaos. Aliens ran, shouting in strange languages. Machines sparked, and a loud crash echoed. Hae-jin's energy surged, stronger than ever. She pressed her hands to the door and blue light poured out. The door sparked and slid open. She stumbled into the hall, her heart racing. The station was breaking. Had she done this? Her power felt too big, too wild. Tae-sung appeared, his face tense. "You did this," he said, but not angry. "Your power broke our systems." Hae-jin shook her head. "I didn't mean to," she said. Tae-sung grabbed her arm, pulling her down the hall. "The leaders are scared," he whispered. "They think you're dangerous. We must hide you." Hae-jin followed, her mind spinning. The Conquered wanted to control her, maybe even hurt her. But her power was growing, and she felt it could do more. As they ran, she wondered, could she fight back? Hae-jin ran behind Tae-sung through the shaking halls of the Galactic Conquered station. Red lights flashed and alarms screamed. Her heart pounded as her energy buzzed inside, wild and heavy. She hadn't meant to break the station's systems, but her blue light had sparked chaos. Tae-sung's face was tight with worry. "We need to move," he said, his gray skin shining under the flickering lights. "The leaders want you locked up." They hid in a small room filled with humming machines. Hyojin's chest felt tight. "Why are they scared of me?" she asked. Tae-sung looked at her, his black eyes serious. "Your power is strong, stronger than our technology. They don't trust what they can't control." He paused, then added, "They want you to show your power at a big meeting, a galactic summit, to prove humans aren't weak." Hyojin didn't like that. She wasn't a tool. But Tae-sung's words stuck with her. If she could show her power, maybe the aliens would respect humans. Maybe they'd leave Earth alone. "I'll do it," she said, her voice shaky but firm. Tae-sung nodded, but his eyes looked sad. "Be careful," he warned. "The Conquered doesn't care about you, they care about power." The next day, Hyojin was moved to a huge warship, its walls smooth and cold. The summit was on a nearby planet, and the Conquered wanted her ready. Tae-sung helped her practice. In a big, empty room, he set up machines to test her energy. "Focus," he said, holding a small device. "Make the light come out slow." Hyojin closed her eyes, feeling the energy in her chest. It was like a river, sometimes calm, sometimes wild. She pushed, and a small blue spark danced from her hand. Tae-sung smiled. "Good," he said. "You're learning." But it wasn't easy. The energy was tied to her feelings: anger, fear, hope. When she thought of her camp, of Ji-ho and Su-min, the light grew stronger but harder to control. Once it shot out too fast, cracking a wall. Tae-sung jumped back, and Hyojin felt bad. "I'm trying," she said. Tae-sung touched her shoulder, his hand cool. "I know," he said. "You're not like anyone I've studied. The Conquered, they've hurt others like you. I don't want that for you." His words surprised her. Tae-sung wasn't like the other aliens. He cared even if he didn't say it much. Hyojin started to trust him just a little. She trained harder, wanting to control her power for herself, not just the Conquered. But deep down she was scared. What if she failed at the summit? What if her power hurt someone? The summit day came. The warship landed on a planet with tall, glowing towers. Hyojin stood in a huge room surrounded by aliens, some with wings, some with claws, all staring at her. The Conquered's leaders, tall and stern, watched from high seats. "Show us," one said, his voice cold. Hyojin's hands shook. She felt small, but she thought of her camp, her people. She wouldn't let them down. She raised her hands, calling the energy. A soft blue light grew, swirling like a storm. The aliens gasped, their eyes wide. Hyojin felt strong, like she could do anything. But then a loud boom shook the room. Alarms rang again. A group of aliens, the Vicor, burst in, their ships firing at the towers outside. They hated the Conquered and wanted to ruin the summit. Chaos erupted. Aliens ran, screaming. Hyojin's energy exploded out of control. A huge blue wave shot from her, hitting the Vicor's weapons. Their guns sparked and died, stopping the attack. But the wave kept going, cracking the room's walls and shaking the warship. Hyojin felt her body weak. The aliens stared, some amazed, some afraid. The Concord leaders shouted, "She's too dangerous." Tae-sung pulled her up, his face pale. "We need to go," he whispered. "They'll lock you away now." Hyojin's head spun. She'd saved the summit, but her power had nearly destroyed everything. As they ran, she felt the energy still buzzing, tied to her fear and anger. She realized something. Her power wasn't just a gift. It was part of her, and she had to master it. The Conquered wanted her caged, but Tae-sung's words echoed in her mind. "You're more than they think," he'd said. Hyojin clenched her fists. She wouldn't let them control her. She'd find a way to fight back. Hyojin's heart raced as Tae-sung led her through the dark, twisting halls of the Conquered warship. The summit was in chaos, and her uncontrolled energy had saved the day but scared the alien leaders. They wanted her locked away. But Tae-sung had other plans. "There's a ship," he whispered, his gray hand gripping hers. "We can escape." Hyejin nodded, her chest buzzing with energy. She didn't trust the Concord, but she trusted Tae-sung's fear-filled eyes. They reached a small docking bay where a sleek silver ship waited. Tae-sung's fingers flew over a glowing panel, and the ship's door hissed open. "Hurry," he said. Hyejin climbed inside, her dusty boots strange against the clean floor. As the ship shot into space, she looked back at the warship, its lights fading. She was free, but where were they going? Tae-sung set the ship's path to a faraway planet, a place hidden from the Concord. "It's a human colony," he explained. "They don't follow the Concord, they'll help you." Hyejin stared at him. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. Tae-sung's black eyes met hers. "The Concord hurts people like you. I've seen it. You deserve better." His words warmed her, but she stayed cautious. She was alone, far from Earth, with only an alien to trust. The planet was green and wild, unlike Earth's dry deserts. The ship landed near a small colony of metal huts and busy people. Humans worked alongside a few aliens, all looking tough and free. A woman with short hair and strong arms met them. "I'm Misuk," she said, her voice firm. "Tae-sung sent word about you, Hyejin. Welcome." Hyejin felt a spark of hope. These people weren't afraid of her. Misuk led her to a tent where others waited, humans with strange powers like hers. One man, Dongwoo, made small flames dance in his hands. A girl, Yunbi, moved objects without touching them. "We're mutants," Misuk said. "Like you. The Conquered doesn't know how many of us there are." Hyejin's eyes widened. She wasn't alone. Her power, the blue energy, was part of something bigger, humanity changing, growing stronger. Days passed and Hyejin trained with the others. Misuk taught her to control her energy by focusing on her breath and heart. "It's like a muscle," Misuk said. "Use it carefully." Hyejin practiced, sending blue sparks into the air, small and steady. She learned to make shields of light or sharp bursts that could break rocks. It was hard, and she often failed. But she felt stronger. The energy didn't scare her as much now. Tae-sung stayed, helping the colony fix machines. He told Hyejin about the Concord's cruelty, how they controlled weak planets and used people like her for experiments. "They've blocked Earth," he said. "No ships can leave or land." Hyejin thought of her camp, of Jiho and Sumin, trapped under the Concord's rule. Anger burned in her. "We have to stop them," she said. Misuk overheard and nodded. "We're planning to fight," she said. "Will you help?" Hyejin agreed. The colony made a plan to attack the Concord's blockade around Earth. They had ships, weapons, and mutants with powers. Hyejin's energy could disrupt the Concord's technology, giving them a chance. But the plan was dangerous. The Concord had a huge fleet, and Hyejin wasn't sure she could lead. At night, she sat by a fire, her hands shaking. "What if I mess up?" she asked Tae-sung. He sat beside her, his voice soft. "You saved the summit. You can do this. You're not just strong, you're human, that's enough." His words gave her courage. She trained harder, pushing her energy to new limits. One day she made a blue shield big enough to cover the whole camp. Dongwoo cheered, and Yunbi hugged her. Hyejin smiled, feeling like she belonged. But danger was coming. A scout ship from the Concord found the planet, and alarms rang through the colony. "They're hunting us," Misuk said, her face grim. "We fight now or lose everything." Hyejin gripped her hands, the energy humming inside. The Concord wanted her dead or caged, but she wasn't their tool. She thought of Earth, of her people waiting for freedom. The colony prepared for war, and Hyejin felt ready. Her power was hers to command, and she'd use it to protect those she loved. As ships roared overhead, she stood tall, blue light glowing in her eyes. The rebellion had begun. Hyejin stood on the bridge of a small, patched-up ship, her heart pounding. Stars, sparkled outside, but her eyes were on Earth, a blue-green ball blocked by the Galactic Concorde's massive fleet. The human colony's rebellion had begun, and Hyejin led a team of mutants and rogue aliens to break the blockade. Her blue energy hummed in her chest, steady now, under her control. Tae-sung stood beside her, his gray face calm. "We can do this," he said. Hyejin nodded, gripping her hands. She thought of her camp, of Jiho and Sumin waiting for freedom. The colony's ships, a mix of human and alien tech, moved fast. Misuk's voice crackled over the radio. "Hyejin, hit their main ship. Your power can stop their systems." Hyejin took a deep breath. She'd trained for this, but the Concorde's fleet was huge, with glowing cannons and sleek hulls. Her ship darted closer, dodging red laser blasts. "Now!" Tae-sung shouted. Hyejin raised her hands, focusing. Her energy. A bright blue wave shot out, slamming into the Concorde's main ship. Sparks flew and its lights flickered. The fleet's cannons stopped firing, confused. The colony's ships attacked, their small size letting them weave through the chaos. Dongwu's flames burned enemy drones and Yunbi's power tossed debris at conquered ships. Hyejin's energy kept the fleet weak, her blue light dancing across space. But the Concorde fought back. A blast hit their ship, shaking the bridge. "Shields are down," Tae-sung yelled. Hyejin gritted her teeth, sending another energy wave. She was tired, but she wouldn't stop. Earth was so close. Misuk's ship broke through, landing on Earth to rally the camps. Hyejin's job wasn't done. "We need to face the leaders," she told Tae-sung. He hesitated, then nodded. "The council chamber is on their station. It's risky." Hyejin's eyes burned. "I'm not afraid." They flew to the Concorde's orbiting station, sneaking past damaged ships. Her energy felt alive, tied to her hope for her people. Inside the station, alarms blared. Hyejin and Tae-sung ran through shiny halls, her blue sparks lighting the way. They reached the council chamber, a huge room with tall alien leaders in silver robes. Their eyes widened at Hyejin, a human daring to face them. "You've caused enough trouble," one leader hissed. "Surrender, or Earth pays." Hyejin stood tall, her voice steady. "Earth isn't yours. Humans aren't weak. Let me show you." She closed her eyes, feeling her energy. It wasn't just for fighting. She'd learned it could create, not just destroy. The leaders had a test planet, a dead world they used for experiments. Hyejin pointed at a screen showing its dry, gray surface. "Watch," she said. She pushed her energy, not as a weapon but as life. Blue light flowed through the station's systems, reaching the test planet. On the screen, green patches appeared, grass, trees, water. The aliens gasped. Hyejin's power had revived a dead world. The leaders stared, silent. Tae-sung stepped forward. "She's not a threat. She's proof humans are strong. Let Earth go." Hyejin's legs shook from effort, but she held her ground. The head leader, a tall alien with sharp claws, spoke slowly. "You've shown potential. We will lift the blockade." Hyejin's heart leaped, but she stayed firm. "No more control," she said. "Earth is free." The leader nodded, his face unreadable. Agreed. The fleet pulled back, and Hyejin's ship returned to Earth. She landed near her old camp, now alive with cheers. Jiho and Sumin ran to her, hugging her tight. "You did it!" Sumin cried. Hyejin smiled, tears in her eyes. The desert looked brighter, full of hope. Misuk and the mutants joined them, planning to find others with powers. "You're a leader now," Misuk said. Hyejin felt the weight of it, but also the strength. That night, under the stars, Hyejin sat. "With Tae-sung, will you stay?" she asked. He shook his head. "I'll help other planets fight the conquered, but I'll come back." Hyejin nodded, grateful for his friendship. Her energy hummed softly, part of her now. She looked at the sky, knowing humans were more than the conquered thought. They were growing, changing, ready for the galaxy. Hyejin stood ready to guide her people into a new future, her blue light a beacon of hope.